$15 trillion every single day. That's how much flows through Broadridge's trading infrastructure. And this week, they just plugged crypto directly into it. Meanwhile, Ripple's 112 open job roles just revealed exactly where your XRP sales money goes. XRPL tokenization exploded 927%, and the three organizations that literally settle the world's securities just agreed on how to make tokenized assets talk to each other. Oh, and a $1.8 trillion French bank just chose Stellar for Europe's first regulated stablecoin. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's a name most people in crypto have never heard of. Broadridge. 7.2 billion in revenue. 15,000 employees across 21 countries. Their platforms process over $15 trillion in daily trading volume across equities, fixed income, and securities. The back office backbone of Wall Street. And this week, Broadridge connected Crypto.com to their NYFIX X order routing network globally. That means institutional brokers can now route crypto orders through the exact same FIX protocol infrastructure they use for stocks and bonds. Same pipes, same reliability, same compliance. First crypto connection in Asia through NYFIX. Now here's what makes this fascinating. The FIX protocol was created in 1992 so that Fidelity and Salomon Brothers could trade stocks electronically instead of picking up the phone. It's 34 years old, and now it's routing crypto orders for 2,200 institutional participants. That's not adoption, that's absorption. Broadridge's George Rosenberger said, quote, "We are extending NYFIX's robust connectivity into the digital asset space, enabling our clients to route orders with the same reliability and transparency they expect from all their trading activity." End quote. And this isn't happening in isolation. The CFTC made digital assets first-class margin collateral in December, treated the same as gold and stocks. Japan reclassified crypto so banks and insurers can hold it like equities. Spot Bitcoin ETFs have pulled in $57 billion in net inflows. Now the skeptics will say, building highway on-ramps doesn't mean people will drive. And they're not wrong. The $1.5 billion Bybit hack last year showed the infrastructure is still fragile. But here's the thing. When Broadridge adds crypto to a 34-year-old trading protocol, that protocol doesn't change back. So one of the biggest criticisms in the XRP community has always been, where does the money from XRP sales actually go? Well, Ripple's 112 open job roles just gave us the receipts. The Ripple X department is specifically tasked with making XRPL the leading blockchain for institutional DeFi. Since 2017, Ripple has deployed over $550 million into XRPL ecosystem initiatives. Nearly 200 projects funded across payments, DeFi, tokenization, gaming, AI, and enterprise finance. And the results are showing up on chain. Tokenized commodities on XRPL went from 111 million at the start of this year to 1.14 billion in March. That's a 927% increase in less than 3 months. Total tokenized real-world assets on XRPL, 2.3 billion, up from 991 million at the start of the year. XRPL now holds over 15% of all global tokenized commodities on-chain. And the funding model is evolving. Ripple is shifting from sole funding kingmaker to a distributed model. XAO DAO for community governance, XRPL Commons with its own incubator in Paris, XRP Asia for APAC mentorship, university programs at Oxford and FGV in Brazil, venture backers like Pantera Capital, Dragonfly, and Franklin Templeton providing mentorship networks. But here's the uncomfortable truth. XRP is down 44% from its January peak of $2.42. Every single Ripple partnership announced in 2026 was followed by XRP price dropping. CryptoSlate published an analysis showing 3 structural reasons why XRPL adoption doesn't drive XRP token value. Transaction fees are negligible, about 10 drops per transaction. Stablecoins bypass XRP entirely on permissioned venues, and reserve requirements don't scale with settlement volume. So the ledger is thriving, but the token? That's a different conversation. The infrastructure is being built. Whether XRP captures that value is still an open question. Okay, this one is massive and almost nobody is talking about it. DTCC, Clearstream, and Euroclear, the 3 largest financial market infrastructure providers on the planet, just co-published a white paper on digital asset interoperability with Boston Consulting Group. Let me give you the scale. DTCC processes $3.7 quadrillion in securities transactions annually, 99 trillion in custody across 150 countries. Clearstream, part of Deutsche Börse, 21 trillion euros under custody. Euroclear in Belgium settled over 1,072 trillion euros in 2023, 37.7 trillion euros held for clients. These 3 collectively settle the overwhelming majority of global securities transactions. And they just said the single biggest obstacle to tokenized asset adoption is fragmentation. Goldman's GSDApp can't talk to JP Morgan's Onyx. SDX can't talk to Canton. So they publish 5 foundational pillars for interoperability: standardized asset representation, ownership recognition, lifecycle protocols, ledger compatibility, and legal compliance. And DTCC is already moving. In December, their subsidiary got an SEC no action letter to offer tokenization services for Russell 1000 stocks, major ETFs, and US Treasuries. They partnered with Digital Asset Holdings to tokenize Treasury securities on the Canton network. Goal: tokenize any security within 15 minutes. MVP launching first half of this year. Nadine Chakar, DTCC's head of digital assets, put it clearly, quote, "Interoperability is the cornerstone for digital assets adoption and scalability. We're not building walled gardens," end quote. But here's the reality check. Total tokenized real-world assets on-chain, about 18.6 billion. BCG's projection for 2030, 16 trillion. That's a 1400x gap in 4 years. And most of what exists today is faster paperwork. 2 firms, Backed Finance and Ondo Finance, account for 95% of the tokenized stock market. The plumbing is being built, but whether the water flows at scale, that's what we're watching. And now for the story that ties this whole thing together. Societe Generale, $1.83 trillion in total assets. Record revenue in 2025. Just deployed Europe's first MiCA-compliant bank-issued Euro stablecoin on Stellar. EURCV, or EURCV, is now live on 4 blockchains. Ethereum since April 2023, Solana, XRP Ledger as of February, and now Stellar. It's fully backed 1-to-1 by bank deposits and high-quality liquid assets. And here's the key. EURCV achieved MiCA compliance on July 1st, 2024, the exact day the rules took effect. First mover. Why does that matter? Because Tether looked at MiCA and said no thanks, discontinuing their euro-pegged EURT entirely. Analysts project MiCA-compliant instruments will capture over 90% of European stablecoin market share as regulatory pressure tightens. And SG Forge isn't just issuing stablecoins. In January, SWIFT ran a pilot with SG Forge, BNP Paribas, and Intesa Sanpaolo to settle tokenized bonds using EURCV. Full bond lifecycle: issuance, delivery versus payment, coupon payments, redemption. Part of a wider initiative involving 30-plus global banks. That's real institutional settlement infrastructure. And why Stellar? Franklin Templeton runs a $580 million tokenized U.S. government money fund on it. PayPal's PYUSD went live on Stellar. MasterCard partnered with Stellar for Crypto Credential. On-chain real-world assets crossed 1.2 billion. Guillaume Chatin, SG Forge's chief revenue officer, said, quote, "Our integration on Stellar marks a turning point in the rapprochement between traditional finance and digital assets." End quote. Now the bear case is real. Euro stablecoins are 0.35% of total DeFi supply. EURCV trades $376,000 a day, while USDT sits at $185 billion. And Tether's CEO says MiCA's bank deposit requirements could cause banks to go belly up, citing Silicon Valley Bank as precedent. But here's what I think people are missing. The ECB itself warned that US dollar stablecoins could weaken Europe's monetary sovereignty. MiCA isn't just regulation, it's a counterattack. And when a $1.8 trillion bank deploys that weapon on Stellar, the game has changed. So step back and look at what happened this week. A 34-year-old trading protocol just absorbed crypto. XRPL tokenization exploded 927%. The three organizations that settle the world's securities published a joint interoperability framework, and a $1.8 trillion French bank deployed a regulated stablecoin on Stellar. This isn't hype. This is production infrastructure, real settlement, real capital, real regulatory frameworks. The financial system isn't debating whether to integrate blockchain anymore. It's debating which pipes to use. And that is a fundamentally different conversation. If this breakdown helped you see what's being built behind the headlines, smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment. Which of these 4 stories surprised you the most? I read every single one. See you in the next one.